Here are the top 17 products I found at the world's largest home building convention held in Vegas. Murphy Door. These guys make hidden doors and hidden beds. Some of their new products this year is a hidden door that slides along the wall. So instead of your typical swing out hidden door, this one slides along the wall and just gives you a different option when you're trying to find that hidden door that also doubles as storage. And one of my favorite things about Murphy Door is their beds. So they offer these beds that pull down off the wall and they look like storage any rest of the time when you don't have guests. But they added this new feature, which I thought was pretty sweet, is a nightstand that's built into the actual dresser itself. So you pull this thing out and it pops into place. So now your guests, they have a bed to lay in with a built-in nightstand and just makes it feel more like a hotel. Rev-A-Shelf. So this booth is stacked all the time, and that's because they have all the storage solutions, whether it's laundry, kitchen, anything with a cabinet drawer, they have a storage solution for. One of their most popular ones is the pop-out mixer stand. So you can pull it out, do your mixing, and it goes right back into the cabinet. But some of the new ones they added this year was a paper towel holder. Seems simple, but it's not very common to have a dedicated spot for your paper towel. So now you can have it in a nice, good looking spot, and then behind it has storage for additional paper towels. They also have a double junk drawer, and maybe it's not intended for junk drawer, but to me that's the first thing that came to mind, and it kind of folds out so that you're able to add double the amount of junk in that drawer. I thought that was pretty cool. And then another one is their pull-out shelves. So let's say you have a tall pantry cabinet and you want to have these pull-out shelves. You can adjust the shelves to different heights to match whatever you're going to put inside that cabinet. I really thought that was a good feature. Okay, this one is new. This is a vent door. So if you've ever had a door slam in your house when the AC kicks on, that's because the pressure in each room is different. Now this door allows the air to transfer in between the rooms and prevent that. Usually you'll have a transfer grill on the wall, and that's what would equalize the pressure in the room. But now if it's in the door, you don't need that on the wall. Now I think it's going to take some time to get used to maybe this design, but either way I thought it was a really cool invention. Mbrico. So these guys offer tiles for your front or back porch or a roof system. So it can be mounted directly on the deck joists using this track system, or it can go on a roof using a pedestal system. So these tiles, they don't get hot, they don't get slippery, they stay cool. They've kind of thought through everything. They don't scratch. Definitely worth looking into if you're looking for a different look for your front or back porch. Speaking of decking, I ran across this booth where they're selling composite decking, but they have a very interesting feature. So it's an interlocking system that kind of mounts onto itself, and that's so when rainwater hits it, it can be pushed all in one direction and keep everything dry underneath. So normally you would have to have a different system to catch all this rainwater and push it in a gutter system or off the edge of the deck, and that's so you can use anything underneath for storage or an entertainment area. I just thought that was a really cool product because now you're not having to buy another product to do the same thing. Deako. So I just found these guys recently, and here's how it works. You have your whole house wired up with their gang boxes, and what it allows you to do is use a dummy switch on the whole house if you wanted to. But then let's say when your budget is in a better position after you build your house, you can go in there and add smart switches, dimmers, specialty switches like an occupancy sensor, and you can do all that just by pulling a tab, and you can replace the switch very easily. Now these things run about $100 a piece, but I think that's well worth it because if you're going to go with another system, those are running $80 a piece, and you have to go in there and wire each one of those manually instead of just being able to plug and play. These caught my attention right away. They're super expensive. I think they're like $8 grand a piece, but these outdoor showers, just these massive pipes coming out of the ground, and I just think it gives it a better look than just having a faucet mounted on the side of the wall. So if you're looking for an outdoor shower, maybe give these guys a look. They also have a tub filler. This is getting crazy. So now you can take a bath outside, which is pretty cool, I guess. So either way, I just really like the design of these outdoor showers. This foundation drain is next level. So anytime you're pouring a basement wall, there's going to be some piping that runs along the foundation, and that's usually made out of corrugated pipe. So these guys have integrated a corrugated pipe into a form. So what they're going to do is they're going to form up the corrugated pipe, and then they can pour their concrete, and then when they're done, there's no form to remove because the form is actually the drain. I just thought that was a really cool invention, and I thought you'd find it pretty interesting. Here's a random one I came across. So instead of deck tape going on your deck joist, so what it does is it extends the life of your deck. These guys came up with a system that you can paint on. So I think it cures in 24 hours, and they're saying it's 50% cheaper than going with the tape. Now the convention center is filled with doors, and I think it's a race to see who can build the tallest door. This is a 23-foot door, and it weighs 1,000 pounds. Now I don't know who's putting that in their house, but either way, if you do, I want to check it out. Litecon. So I don't remember all the details on this. I'd have to go back and double check, but pretty much what it is exterior sheathing made out of concrete. Ruben did an amazing amazing job giving me a walkthrough. There's a bunch of demonstrations to show how great it is. It floats, it's soundproof. You can see where he takes the lid off of this box that they made, and you can't even hear this music playing until he takes the lid off. And it's just another alternative to siding. So you don't need OSB. What it does is it replaces the OSB. You can see the demonstration here where he's screwing right into the stud. So I finally got to see one of these in person. So it's a Pella window and it has a built-in screen. So you only see this screen when you lift the window up, and then when you put it down, it just sits inside the bottom of the window out of sight. So whenever I move into a house, I'm pulling out every screen just because I think it looks so much cleaner to not have a screen in the way. SnapSafe. So I have a SnapSafe door that leads into my safe room. And what I like about these guys is they're the cheapest door you can pretty much get if you want that safe door look at your house. They also added a new feature on the back side of one of the doors where you can mount your pistolas on the back side of the door, which I think is pretty handy. The one that I have doesn't have that. So if you're looking for a safe door and your budget's a little bit tight, definitely give these guys a look. Okay, SnapPower, I just really like their over-the-outlet night lights, and they're just coming out with a new product. It probably won't be live when this video comes out, but what it is, it's a humidity sensor that goes up in your exhaust fan. Now, my first thought was, why the hell would you do that when you can just get a switch? Well, here's the beauty. All the exhaust goes up to that fan, so instead of having to rewire a switch, what you can do is you can just take this little module, it's just like plugging it into an outlet. Inside the actual fan itself, it mounts up in there, and then the control goes over the switch on the wall. So it's really, really good if you're not wanting to wire a humidity switch, but you still want the function. Countertop charging. So this was huge at the show this year. I just seemed like everywhere I looked and there was a countertop, they had this built-in charging where you just leave your phone there. I think it's a really cool idea. I just wonder the longevity. You know, if Apple decides to come out and there's a different way to charge your phone, what if your phone just sits on the counter and just charges through the air? Well, then that's a null and void. But either way, I think it's pretty cool that they're adding those into countertops. Okay, so if you're going for a skylight, give these guys a look. So this skylight opens up into two pieces, and you can make it to where you can walk out almost like a mini balcony on your roof. So I think it's definitely worth a look if you're going for a skylight, especially that size, and now you can just have double functionality. All right, and the last one is the Elkay water fountain. So these are popping up in all the new builds because they make sense. We're filling up all of our water bottles all the time, so instead of the sink, you have a dedicated water bottle filler. So this year they introduced one that's battery operated. So you don't need to run power or a drain because there's just a little mini drain held in there. So now all you gotta do is just run a water line. So if you're doing a renovation, maybe that's gonna save you a lot of headache and make it worthwhile now, because now you don't have to have that drain and power ran to that location. Okay, I did these guys no justice because I only spoke on them very briefly, so there's more to the story, but I wanted to keep this video entertaining. So if you wanna learn more, I'll put a link to all these guys in the description, and follow along because I'll dive into each one of these products throughout the year because I nerd out on this stuff. And if you do as well, make sure you like and subscribe and do all the things so I can see you on the next video.